Hi, Nick here, MedTech World, Day 2, 2025. John Brumfield from Berlin Heads is sitting beside me with an amazing new device that's changing heart failure, the lives of heart failure patients forever. Tell me more.
Yeah, thanks for the time. So we have a new device that's really groundbreaking. It's the first therapy ever in heart failure that treats the actual lesion of the disease, the cause of the inflammation and damage, and reverse remodels the heart back towards a healthy heart again. And we are the first therapy ever to show a sustaining benefit. So after the treatment, the patients have a multi-year benefit that lasts.
Cool. And the treatment is minimally invasive implants. Lives there. I guess it behaves like an area chamber of the heart itself with a constant direct current.
That's correct.
It sounds a bit scary. It's a microcurrent, but
Yeah.
it helps there, and all the results showing enlarged hearts, getting smaller, small hearts, gaining size and traction, creating a healthy, livable environment to live longer and better, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so we have the device is implanted very similar to like a pacemaker, where we put a lead in the right ventricle. It has a coil on it, kind of like an ICD or defibrillator lead. And then our second lead is a patch that we place outside the ribs. Our first generation was to place it on the heart, and it required a surgical procedure in the operating room. But we just started or completed enrollment in our first-in-man study where we placed the patch outside the ribs, under the skin. And so the patients can be implanted conscious sedation in the cath lab. And we deliver direct current between the two electrodes. And that direct current comes from a natural physiological signal. So if you cut your hand or you have a damaged part of your body will naturally create a current across that injury to stimulate healing. And so we took that concept and we're applying it to the damaged heart.
But to tell me, sorry, pardon my ignorance, but where does the current come from? What's powering this device?
Yeah, great question. So the two leads are then wired to what looks like a pacemaker. It's placed in the same location as a pacemaker or defibrillator, and that device gives that constant current for 6 months of therapy.
6 months of current. Wow, that's technological innovations. Tell me about the story of the groundbreaking. Who came up with? Obviously, it's been a dream of many engineers and scientists in order to be able to do this. But how did you get it together to the team? How did you meet and create this?
Sure. Yeah.
Solution?
So the concept of current healing has been known for decades. It was discovered about a half a century ago that this current occurs naturally, and initially it was evaluated for bone healing and wound healing. And that concept was transferred to the cardiology world by our two co-founders, these thoracic surgeons in Germany. And they took that concept and said, what if we applied that directly to a diseased heart? And so now we've taken that first generation surgical concept, made it into a less invasive approach that any cardiologist that can put a pacemaker in or defibrillator in can do this implant now. And so it used to go to only specific surgeons, and now thousands of cardiologists around the world can put this outpatient procedure in.
They have access. It's market ready for
not yet. So we still have to go through the evidence. So we've done a randomized trial surgically, and then we just completed enrollment in a less invasive approach. And we're now expanding that into a wider indicated window of patients for the next, say, year of additional evidence. And then we move into the pivotal trial phase for FDA.
Cool. And in Europe, a lot of the decisions is based around whether it'll be a money saver, a time saver, a life saver. It comes into, but the equation is it beneficial? And I'm certain that the results are going to be
Yeah,
strong.
so I would say our outcomes are shocking when you compare it to other known therapies in heart failure. So the best known therapies in heart failure are drugs and devices that give you anywhere from 20 meters to 40 meters more 6-minute hall walk tests. So how far you can walk in 6 minutes.
You're basically 100% increase on their walking
Significantly higher,
limits
from 200
in 2
meters
weeks'
to
time,
400 meters. So 4 to 5 times greater than the next best therapy in heart failure. So the outcomes are really surprisingly good, and so now we need to do the double-blind sham studies, all the bigger levels of evidence. But we've already completed one RCT. Early next year, we'll start our next randomized trial, and then our pivotal will be our third randomized trial. So when we get FDA approval, our goal is to have 3 randomized trials behind us so we can go straight to the top of the guidelines, establish high reimbursement for our strong outcomes, and not do the typical MedTech approach. A few patients, then you have to go do another study, then another study. We want to hit the market with all the evidence we need to have a successful, huge launch.
Well, if I have the money, to be honest with you, it sounds like a performance enhancing tool without the heart failure. I'll have one.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It's been awesome having you, Berlin Head. Thank you for representing.
Thank you very much.
Nicholas, signing off from MedTech World.